Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well today, going into a wonderful weekend. And I've got to say that I started making this video talking about predictions, and I originally had the intention of predicting what's going to happen during the third-party panel for Tfcon Chicago. The problem is, I used to be the toy whisperer. I used to be able to guess at least one or two things that were coming in the panel, but nowadays it's different. Nowadays we've got Fans Toys wanting to be petty with all these other companies, and other companies just trying to get something out before Fans Toys bot blocks them, and it's just not about the fans as much. It's not about the need. This video is about the need, what fans want, where the gaps are, and where figures and characters need to be improved in the Masterpiece line. So with that, it's not exactly a predictions video, but I will say it's time for news on this as we go along in this predictions / what we need video. Coming up! My first prediction is that somebody's going to make another Seeker. This Seeker's going to look like Starscream, but be called Ice Cream. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, never mind. This actually is going to happen at TFCon. This is the TF Source and Make Toys exclusive, the MTRC 13 Ice Cream. And the thing is of course I check all the news to see if something's out before I give my predictions. And then this was something that was out before I gave my predictions. This wasn't anywhere on my list. I didn't see Starscream as Ice Cream, but we have probably all said Ice Cream, Starscream, something like that, goofing around when we were a kid. So, yeah, I see Starscream. Ice Cream. For my realist, I'm being a realist. I want to say this before I get into the spotter situation again for the 50th time. When I started making videos on this channel, it was purely me. It was just my own thoughts, ideas, opinion. Now it's about 75% viewer input. I don't operate in a vacuum anymore because, well, for two reasons. First of all, the input is so good that sometimes it changes my mind, but I also say you're right a lot, and it does influence me. When you leave comments down below, you share your opinions and ideas, you do definitely influence me on what I think. And with Spotter, people have told me a lot of stuff about this. So people said the mold's damaged. There's no way to make it again for whatever reason. They can't put it back out. And if they did, they'd have to do a heavy retooling of the tooling. And with that, they might as well just make a 2.0. It is dated. It's still, in my opinion, the best one. People are paying like $450, $500 for this thing. And if you did, here's the thing. If they make a 2.0 Spotter, or we see another Reflector come out, but more or less people just waiting for a Fans Toys 2.0 Spotter or just paying $500 for the original. The original one will not be worth $500 anymore. That's just the way the game is. But there's no indication that Fans Toys is going to do this. And Fans Toys has a lot on their plate. They really need to get out before they think about making another Spotter. But this is a huge gap on a lot of people's shelves. All the time I hear about this. All the time. That's why I brought it up. I was going to omit this, but I hear it so much. It has to be on this as a maybe future prediction, or B, just what we need. I'm rocking. I got rid of all of them. I only have the KFC. Is it KFC? KFC version? So like Transbots. So in a way, I need one. Like, I would love to have a 2.0 Spotter if it's better than KFC. Next we have Deluxe Insecticons Deluxe from X-Transbots. Now they have already confirmed they're working on these. This is something they plan to do. Again, X-Transbots has a lot on their plate. And with that, these would be some of the coolest, funnest, most bestest, funnest figures around if they made them. And with Hasbro just finishing up their run, there's still a lot of excitement surrounding those. Masterpiece collectors probably are dipping in on the Hasbro ones just to have them if they like Deluxe. And then this is another super niche market. Why is it niche? Because these weren't in the cartoon, so Fans Toys will never touch them, and because you really only have any sort of tied to them if you own the G1s. That's really the way it is. for me personally, I did own one of the G1s, and I later on acquired the rest, and so I like them. But to see modern Masterpiece takes would just tickle me. That's the best way to say it. So I'd like to see some update, maybe if it's just one. But maybe they do it like they did the Omnibots. Maybe we'll eventually get to it, but I'd like to see an update. Which one would they start with? Venom, maybe? Next up is somebody doing a hot rod. Now, whether it's reissue of Hoodlum if they reissue Hoodlum, they got to figure out a way to not chip the hood. The hood doesn't get chipped. Maybe there's some sort of spray they can spray over it that would make it more protected. But then again, if they did that, they just released an Ironhide that has massive paint chipping. Everybody's is chipping. So I'm trying to figure out how to transform that without chipping. I think I figured the solution to that out. I don't want to tell you until the video, so you have to watch my video to get the solution, and you're going to say I'm cheating. Anyway, then Takara has theirs, which I think it's not a great bot mode. The whole chest panel and waist is wrong. Fans Toys wins. Fans Toys is the best looking. But the alt mode wise, Takara is great. So it's give and take, plus and minus, of course. Would it be X-Transbots? Would it be like, I don't know. Would one of these other companies that have been making stuff, DX9, take a stab at it? Would maybe Star Toys getting big enough for the britches to take that character on? Who knows? But some sort of Hot Rod news. Hot Rod's pretty hot right now. I actually had the mindset that most of the community thought Hot Rod was kind of like a black sheep of the Transformers line. Hated him because it's his fault that Optimus Prime died. But there's a whole generation of people that got into Transformers from the movie, from 1986, and Hot Rod is their Optimus Prime. They look at Optimus Prime as maybe the old guy, as the Cup in a way, but the dynamic with Hot Rod and Cup's awesome too. But yes, we need a Hot Rod. Next up, Roadbuster and Whirl. This is probably not the best picture in the world, but it's the best picture I could find to have both of them in it, so that is pretty awesome right there. Now, I want to say this. These two figures are also figures that weren't in the show, but I had one as a kid. The other one is intriguing to me. I'm just not sure why nobody's tackled these in the Masterpiece. Yes, there have been some with Function X or something along those lines, and a couple of companies have made them, but to me, they're not true Masterpiece, or they're too stylized. So really true G1s that aren't stylized. A lot of people say, well, then just shut up, Mike, and go get the G1s. Well, I have the G1 Roadbuster. I haven't gotten the Whirl yet because it's not a great figure. And, I haven't really decided to complete all of G1 in vintage. I decided I just really like the Masterpiece ones more. So pick and choose my favorites in G1. I need Masterpiece of these guys. True, real Masterpiece. Not the third-party chugs or the third-party stylized but still not quite big enough, or too bulky to the wide, if you know what I mean. So we need Masterpiece representations of Slam Dance and Squawk Box, which these are awesome figures. Cassettes that turn into like airplanes and tanks, or bird and tank and stuff, and then they turn into a combiner. Cassette combiners. Like, really, Dr. Wu's tackled them, but I don't really want them that small. If I'm going to be buying something these days, even the Legend stuff, it's kind of fun and cute in a way. I don't really want these as small as Dr. Wu. I want these at minimum G1 scale and up. So that's how I'd want them. They went a whole different route with the Hasbro line, which they made them kind of deluxe figures. They made them pretty beefy. They were really good ones too. But with this, I want to see Masterpiece. And I would love it if we got this from MMC. But what, a Fans Toys? Why does Fans Toys not make more cassettes? More cassette packs? Well, the reason is because they got a lot of negativity that I don't think they truly deserved. Yeah, criticism's good, but they got a lot of negativity of their cassettes, and I thought they were decent. And I understand where they went, and I felt like they were super hyper G1 upgrades. But true, they really weren't Masterpiece because they weren't going for full-size cassettes. There's a give and a take, but I do think Fans Toys is discouraged from making more of these. But these weren't in the cartoon, so they won't want to make them anyway. So who'd make them? Maybe MMC. Next up, we need Power Dashers. This is TF Source. Now, I do shout out TF Source. They are my backup if I miss it at Shozy Store. Shozy Store is the best price, and TH support the reviewer code. But I still back up to TF Source. They are usually the most expensive, and it's like, darn it, wish I would have got it at Shozy for $80 less. But this is their picture. They have a great catalog of pictures. TF Source has done a lot for the community. Believe it or not. But these Power Dashers were Mellaways. These are exactly like Fans Toy Spotter. You think about it. Reflector was Melloway only. This is Melloway only. The only difference between these and the Reflector figure is that Reflector was in the show and these were not. So that's why these aren't getting touched. Hasbro made a really good set of these, but they're too small for Masterpiece. They're not the quality of Masterpiece. They're a great set. But for the price they're going for now, especially because one was that stupid, put them in a 3-pack, the one on the right there, Aragorn or whatever, Argon, I don't even remember what they call it, Argon, whatever, was in the 3-pack, and you had to buy like a $70 3-pack to get it, or a $50 3-pack. Nobody did that, and so with that, completing the team is tough. We need Masterpiece representations. X-Transbots is really our only hope for this, but, you know, with that, I would love to see someone come out of the woodwork, make a Masterpiece set of these. We need them. It's sorely needed. And if you're thinking you don't care about these, you might just stop and think and consider it, because these make sense. Just like what we got with the Omnibots. I love the Omnibots. I don't love these the same way, but I'd be in for it. I don't have the vintage ones, but I'd be in for it for sure. In the Masterpiece realm. Next up, we have Quick Switch, which is kind of a relative of what we saw in the past with the vintage 6-shot. Now, the Hydra figure is one of Fans Toys' best figures for, you know, fans wanting to track down right now, but it's weak in the knees, no big deal. It's a great figure overall. It wins the 6-shot wars if you want G1 accuracy. Would we ever get this figure? Okay, and what makes this figure so interesting are all the modes, and this picture's from Transformers Universe, which is an excellent site. I've used it a few times. That's the site I used for my checklists, which I'm still going to make the rest of those videos, by the way, or at least one more. At least one more. I don't know if I'm going to do them all, but anyhow, they have great checklists at Transformers Universe. But this is a great pictorial showing all the modes. I just don't know how else you'd show all the modes. I don't really understand what they all are, but it'd be fun to learn it in a Masterpiece realm, right? Or am I way off on this? Let me take the temperature of... Oh, it's only like 60? The temperature of the community on this figure. Next up is Triggerhappy. Now, this is a personal, I don't want to say favorite. It's a personal one that I gained an enjoyment for during my collecting journey over the last 30 years. And when Hasbro made their Titan Returns one, that's an amazing figure. And I didn't even know this thing was a thing, and then I looked it up, and this is what it is in G1. It's not great G1. I don't own the G1. If I do, it's not good enough shape to even show. But I want to say this. A Masterpiece representation would be awesome. You know, especially when we just saw what X-Transbots did with Misfire. Yes, it's fiddly and there's some issues here and there. It's a great figure. This would be a great figure. Probably the only way to get it is X-Transbots, but still, I really like this. It's a Target Master. It's a great character. It'd be a lot of fun. And with that, just curious if anybody would make it. Next up is Octane and Sandstorm. So some triple changers that someone somewhere needs to take them back on. Now here's the problem. They're not big characters, massive characters. I'd be fine forever with, I think, both. Are both of mine unique toys? I kind of think they are. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I would not really worry about it too much. But people keep saying that there's not a great version of either one of these figures. I can't deny that, but I'm like, they're kind of low on a lot of people's lists. But you see, Blitzwing is so high on the list. You see that Astro Train's so high on the list. Why can't we get these to that level to display next? I mean, Star Toys did a great Blitzwing. Star Toys could do these. The problem that always lies with stuff like this, just kind of like with the Power Dashers, is there enough demand for $150 figures? The Power Dashers would only be like $90 figures, I think, but these would be 150 or 130 or something because of the size and scale and the complexity of triple changing and all that. But do we need them? You can do magic. You can have anything that you desire. If you desire finishing up your Bruticus, then you got it. Here you go. You're done. Well, not completely till it shows up in the mail. But that's about what it's going to look like. So now that Magic Square is finishing up Bruticus, the next thing we've heard about, the ramblings of madmen on the internet. Yes, I'm one of those. We've heard about Dinobots. The Magic Square Dinobots, these need to get made. This is kind of an earlier picture, but with that, I'm wondering which one they put out first. Now, I'm thinking probably Grimlock or Swoop. This is something that many people want. I don't really think about it so much because I've got the Giga Power set and I've sold off all my fans' toys, except now I've kind of gotten back one, the Perfect Fusion. But most people that are looking for Dinobots are paying out the nose for them. And it's not really affordable to get fans' toys or Giga Power. These would be probably $150 each, I'm guessing, if they upscaled them. They wouldn't look exactly the same. They'd have more of a sheen to them. Kind of like, I'm guessing, kind of like what they did with their Bruticus. And I would look forward to that. I'd be all about some Dinobots in this range just to check them out. If I like them more, maybe replace Giga Power. I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of options there. But people really do still want Masterpiece Dinobots and not pay $400 each. Now, sometime soon, a Megatron is going to have to give. We're going to need a Masterpiece Megatron that rivals MP36. On the left is the original Apollyon X Transbots. Has stated they are working on a 2.0, but no real concrete pictures other than just a design drawing, not even a render. On the right is Magic Square's their Legends. Now we know when they upscale it, it's not exactly the same. A lot of similarities, but there's not exactly the same. Even as I'm going through figure by figure with Bruticus, I see massive differences. As close to the original Legends, they're still way different, with a lot of small, subtle changes that overall, you can tell by looking at it, they're different. So they'll make changes to it. It'll be different. I look forward to what they would do to make it. Masterpiece needs a little bit more parts, higher part count, a little bit more refined than a Legends figure. You can have a tab just hanging off. In Masterpiece, it needs to fold in. You can't have that tab just hanging there on the thigh. Stuff like that. But I look forward to seeing what they would do if they went Masterpiece. And where's X Transbots? Or Fans Toys, I hear that's going to be the last figure they make. But, I mean, that's a rumor. Who knows? They also said that about Optimus Prime. So let me know what you think about this. I'm not guaranteeing any of this is going to be in the third-party panel. Any of this stuff is going to be there except for ice cream. So, what do you like to see from this list? What's exciting you the most? And after the third-party panel, I will do a third-party panel. And I'm pretty sure I'll hit something adjacent to what's on there. But my toy whispering abilities are fading in my old age. Like, subscribe, check Hanger out.